Amanda did not cry immediately. That was the strange part. She sat on the edge of her narrow bed, staring at her phone screen long after the call had ended. The words still echoed in her ears like a bad song on repeat. Amanda, I'm sorry. My parents have already arranged everything. I'm getting married next week. Next week, not next year, not let's talk about it, not give me time. Next week. She let out a small laugh, dry, empty, almost unfamiliar. Next week, she whispered to herself. So, all those forever na express delivery? Her phone buzzed again. A message from him. I still care about you. He'll always be there for you. Amanda stared at it for a long time, then slowly dropped the phone on the bed like it had burned her. Be there for me? She scoffed. As who? Wedding guest or side chick? The room around her felt smaller than usual. One room, one tiny window, one plastic chair, a rusted standing fan that only worked when it felt like it. The landlord called it a self-contained apartment. Amanda called it manage your life. She stood up and walked to the mirror hanging loosely on the wall. Her reflection looked back at her, tired, confused, and scared. Her hand slowly moved to her stomach, flat, still easy to hide, but not for long. I'm pregnant, she said softly, like she was confessing to the walls. The words sounded heavier out loud. She leaned her forehead against the mirror. How did everything spoil like this? Flashback. Promises. Just 2 months ago, they had sat together at a buka, sharing a plate of jollof rice and chicken. He had held her hand across the table. Amanda, I swear, na you I go marry, he said confidently, even if my family talk tire. Amanda had smiled shyly. You day always talk like film. I'm serious, he insisted. After NYSC, we go settle. I don't already day plan. Plan with which money, she teased. He grinned. God go provide, and I go hustle. She believed him. Every word, every promise, every smile. Back to reality. Now he had married someone else. Her best friend, a rich girl. Amanda sat back down heavily. So money win love like this, she muttered. Tears finally came, but not loudly. Just slow, steady, quiet. The kind that hurts more. The wedding. She didn't plan to go. In fact, she told herself she wouldn't, but somehow she found herself standing across the street from the event center. Curiosity, pain, closure, even she didn't know. The place was decorated like a dream, gold and white everywhere, fresh flowers, expensive cars lined up outside like a car exhibition. Amanda looked down at her faded gown and worn slippers. I know even match gate, she murmured. Music blasted from inside. People laughed. Life was moving on, without her. Then she saw them. Her best friend, now the bride, stepped out of a car, glowing in a designer wedding dress. And him, standing beside her, smiling, happy, like nothing had ever happened, like Amanda never existed. Amanda's chest tightened, she whispered, her voice breaking. You happy like this? She waited, just for a second. Maybe he would look around. Maybe he would notice her. Maybe. Nothing. He held his bride's hand and walked inside. Just like that. Amanda turned away quickly, her vision blurred with tears. Okay, she said, nodding to herself. I don't see enough. That night, back in her room, silence wrapped around her like a heavy blanket. No music, no laughter, no love. Just her and the truth. Her phone buzzed again. This time, it was her landlord. She hesitated, then picked. Madam Amanda, your rent don't expire, oh, his voice said bluntly. I give you 1 week. 1 week? She repeated weakly. Yes, no story. The line went dead. Amanda dropped the phone slowly. Then she laughed. This time louder. Almost crazy. So life just gathered join beat me today. Pregnant, heartbroken, broke, about to be homeless. She wiped her tears aggressively. No, no, Amanda, she said firmly, shaking her head. You no fit die like this. She stood up, pacing the room. You go survive. She pointed at her stomach. You Seth, You must survive. Her voice softened. I don't know how, but we go survive. The decision. The next morning, Amanda woke up with swollen eyes, but a different mindset. Pain was still there, but now it had direction. She sat with a small notebook and began to write. Plan, find better job, save money, hide pregnancy for now, survive. She underlined the last word twice, then circled it. Survive first, she said quietly. Love later. She picked up her phone and began searching. Cleaner, house help, live-in maid, anything. Her dignity had already been broken. Now she needed food. The call that changed everything. By afternoon, her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? She answered cautiously. Is this Amanda? A professional female voice asked. Yes. You applied for a domestic staff position? Amanda sat up straight. Yes, ma'am. There is an opening in a private residence in Maitama. Amanda's heart skipped. Maitama? That area is for rich people, she whispered. You will be interviewed tomorrow, the woman continued. Accommodation is included. Amanda didn't even think twice. I'll be there. She ended the call and stared at her phone, then slowly looked around her small room. This place don't reject me, she said softly. She took a deep breath. Maybe another place is waiting. Her hand moved to her stomach again. Baby, we might just be lucky. That night, for the first time in weeks, Amanda slept with a little hope. She didn't know it yet, but the next day would take her from a life of survival, straight into the world of a man who had everything, except the one thing he never expected to find. Amanda woke up before dawn, not because she had somewhere comfortable to be, but because anxiety refused to let her sleep any longer. She sat on her bed, staring at the small bag she had packed the night before. 2 dresses, 1 pair of sandals, a scarf, and hope folded carefully between everything else. Today, not the day, she whispered. Her stomach turned slightly, not just from pregnancy, but from fear. What if dem no pick me, she muttered. What if I just go embarrass myself? She shook her head quickly. No, you no get option again. Journey to another world. By 7 a.m., Amanda was already on a bus heading toward Maitama. As the vehicle moved deeper into the city, everything began to change. The roads became smoother, the houses grew taller, the cars shinier. Amanda pressed her face lightly against the window. Even the air looked expensive here, she murmured. When she finally got down and stood in front of the address she was given, her mouth fell open. The gate alone looked like it could cost more than her entire life savings, which, to be fair, was not much. Tall, black, silent, like it had secrets. Amanda adjusted her dress nervously and approached. At the gate, the security man looked her up and down. Where you dey go? I came for the interview, Amanda said, trying to sound confident. Interview, he repeated, raising an eyebrow. Yes, for maid work. He eyed her for a few seconds, then picked up the intercom. After a brief conversation, the gate slowly slid open. Amanda's heart raced. As she stepped in, she whispered to herself, God a beg, no let me disgrace myself. First impressions. The compound was massive. Not big, massive. Green lawns trimmed perfectly. A fountain in the center, water dancing like it was being paid salary. 2 luxury cars parked neatly, one black, one silver. Amanda paused. This place fits Swallow Person, she whispered. Close your mouth before fly enter, a voice snapped behind her. Amanda turned quickly. A middle-aged woman stood there, arms folded, eyes sharp. Sorry, ma, Amanda said immediately. You be the new applicant? Yes, ma. Follow me, and stop looking around like village tourist. Amanda nodded quickly and followed. Inside the mansion, the moment Amanda stepped inside, her brain stopped working for a second. Everything shone. The floor, polished marble so smooth she was afraid of falling. The walls, decorated with modern art pieces she didn't understand, but knew were expensive. The furniture, clean, minimal, elegant. This one no be house, not showroom, she thought. A massive chandelier hung above them, sparkling like stars. Amanda whispered under her breath, If Nepa take light here, ego pain. Did you say something? The woman snapped. No, ma. The chief maid. They stopped in a large kitchen that looked like something from a cooking show. 3 girls stood there already. All of them turned to look at Amanda. This one? One of them said under her breath. Another replied, sizing her up. The older woman cleared her throat. I am the chief maid here. You will call me Madame Grace. Yes, ma. Madame Grace pointed at the other girls. Ngozi, Sade, Blessing. Amanda nodded politely. Good morning. Only one of them answered. The others just stared. The silent competition. Madame Grace turned back to Amanda. This house has rules, she began. No stealing, no gossiping, no bringing visitors, no nonsense. Yes, ma. And most importantly, she paused, her eyes narrowing slightly. You are here to work, not to chase Olga. Amanda blinked. Ma? Before she could process it, one of the girls, Sade, laughed. Don't mind her. You go understand soon. Amanda frowned slightly. Understand what? Meeting the others. As soon as Madame Grace left, the atmosphere changed instantly. Ngozi crossed her arms. So, new girl? Amanda smiled slightly. My name is Amanda. Sade tilted her head. You get boyfriend? Amanda stiffened. Why? Blessing smirked. Just answer. Amanda hesitated. No. Good, Ngozi said quickly, because if you get, you go forget him. Amanda's confusion deepened. What exactly is going on here? Sade leaned closer, lowering her voice dramatically. Olga Chukuri is single. Amanda blinked. Okay, and? All 3 girls stared at her like she had just committed a crime. And? Blessing repeated. You know hear wet and she talk? Amanda shrugged slightly. I come here to work, not to marry. Silence. Then, all 3 burst into laughter. Loud, uncontrollable laughter. Amanda just stood there, confused. This girl go learn, Ngozi said, wiping her eyes. The interview. Later that morning, Amanda was called. Her legs felt weak as she followed Madame Grace down a quiet hallway. Behave yourself, Madame Grace warned. Olga no like nonsense. Yes, ma. They stopped in front of a large wooden door. Madame Grace knocked once. Come in, a deep voice responded. Amanda's heart skipped. First encounter. The office was calm, elegant, intimidating, and then she saw him. Chukuri Chukuma. Seated behind a desk, focused, composed. He looked up briefly. Their eyes met. Amanda quickly looked down. Good morning, sir. Sit, he said simply. She obeyed. There was silence as he looked through a file. Her file. You have experience, he asked. Yes, sir. Why did you leave your last job? Amanda hesitated. Personal reasons, sir. He looked up again, this time more directly. Amanda felt like he could see through her, but instead of pressing, he simply nodded. Can you follow instructions? Yes, sir. Can you avoid unnecessary drama? Amanda almost smiled. Yes, sir. Another pause. Then he closed the file. You can start today. Amanda blinked. That's all? She almost asked, but stopped herself. Thank you, sir, she said quickly. As she stood to leave, he added, One more thing. She froze. Yes, sir? This house values discipline. I understand, sir. He nodded once. Good. Back in the kitchen. The moment Amanda returned, the girls rushed her. What happened? What did he say? Did he smile? Amanda dropped her bag calmly. I got the job. Silence. Then, that's all? Ngozi asked suspiciously. Yes. Blessing narrowed her eyes. He no ask you anything else? Amanda shook her head. Sade folded her arms. We go day watch you. Amanda sighed internally. God, I beg. I just want peace. Night thoughts. That night, Amanda lay on her assigned bed in the staff quarters. It was small, but cleaner and better than her old room. She stared at the ceiling. Her body was tired, but her mind was awake. This place, she whispered. Different. Very different. Too different. She placed her hand gently on her stomach. Baby, we done enter another level. A small smile touched her lips. For now, we are safe. But deep down, she could feel it. This house was not just a workplace. It was a turning point. A place where destinies would shift, hearts would change. Amanda's first full day in the mansion started before sunrise. A loud knock hit the door. "Wake up! This is not your father's house," Madame Grace's voice echoed. Amanda jolted upright. "Yes, ma." She quickly tied her scarf and rushed out, still adjusting her dress. The other girls were already in the kitchen. Of course. Ngozi glanced at her and smirked. "New girl, you dey sleep like say you no come hustle." Amanda ignored her and picked up a tray. "I'm ready," she said quietly. Sade laughed. "Relax. You never start. Morning madness." The kitchen was alive. Pots steaming, plates clinking, instructions flying like bullets. "Slice that. Clean this. Don't burn it." Amanda moved quickly, doing her best not to make mistakes. "Tea for Olga must not be too strong," Madame Grace warned. "His toast must be golden, not black. And his eggs perfect." Amanda nodded, like her life depended on it. Because it kind of did. The first attempt, as they prepared the breakfast tray, Sade suddenly adjusted her uniform. Amanda noticed. The neckline had shifted. Downward. Way downward. "Sade," Amanda whispered. "Your cloth." "I know," Sade replied calmly. Amanda blinked. "You know?" Ngozi rolled her eyes. "Abeg, leave her. She dey go do presentation." "Presentation," Amanda repeated. Blessing grinned. "To Olga." Amanda stared at them. "You people are serious?" Sade picked up the tray confidently. "Watch and learn," she said, flipping her hair. Amanda folded her arms. "I don't need to learn that one." Olga's reaction. Minutes later, Sade returned. Her face? Not smiling. "What happened?" Ngozi asked quickly. Sade dropped the tray on the counter. "That man no even look my face." Amanda bit her lip to stop herself from laughing. Blessing shook her head. "You no try well." Sade snapped. "Then go try your own." Amanda's turn. "New girl," Madame Grace called. "Take this juice to Olga's office." Amanda froze slightly. "Me?" "Yes, you. Move." Amanda wiped her hands quickly and carried the tray carefully. Her heart beat faster with each step down the quiet hallway. "Just deliver and go," she told herself. "No mistake." She knocked. "Come in." She entered. Chukuri sat behind his desk, focused on his laptop. Amanda placed the tray gently. "Your juice, sir." He nodded slightly. "Thank you." That was all. No extra glance, no unnecessary talk. Amanda turned and left. Simple. Back to reality. The moment she returned, the girls surrounded her again. "What did he say? Did he look at you? Did he smile?" Amanda sighed. "He said thank you." Silence. "That's all?" Blessing asked. "Yes." Ngozi frowned. "Something is wrong with this man." Amanda couldn't help it this time. She laughed. "You people want him to behave like what? Nollywood sugar daddy?" Sade pointed at her. "You dey talk like saint now. Just wait." Amanda shook her head. "I no get strength for that competition." Work versus distraction. As the day went on, Amanda noticed something clearly. The other girls were not just working. They were performing. Walking slowly when Olga passed. Laughing louder than necessary. Accidentally brushing against him. Amanda, she cleaned, organized, focused. At some point, Madame Grace pulled her aside. "You," she said, looking Amanda up and down. Amanda stiffened. "Yes, ma. You are different." Amanda wasn't sure if that was good or bad. "Thank you, ma." Madame Grace narrowed her eyes slightly. "Just don't create problems." "I won't, ma." The warning. That evening, something happened. All four maids were in the living room, cleaning. Chukuri walked in unexpectedly. Immediately the atmosphere changed. Sade straightened. Blessing smiled brightly. Ngozi adjusted her hair. Amanda? She continued wiping the table. Chukuri stopped. His eyes moved from one to the other. Then he spoke. "I will say this once." His voice was calm, but firm. "If any of you is here for anything other than work." Silence filled the room. "You can leave now." Nobody moved. "I do not tolerate nonsense," he continued. "And I do not repeat myself." Amanda paused slightly, but didn't look up. The other girls? Frozen. Then he walked away. Just like that. The moment he left, Ngozi exhaled loudly. Jesus. Sade sat down. That man no normal. Blessing frowned. So, all our effort just a waste? Amanda dropped her cloth and turned to them. Maybe because you people they do rubbish. All three turned to her. Excuse me? Sade snapped. Amanda shrugged. You came for work. Work. Ngozi scoffed. You go understand later. Amanda shook her head. No, I don't already understand. A quiet observation. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep immediately. She sat by the small window in the staff quarters, thinking. This man, she murmured. He was different. No flirting, no nonsense, no interest in any of them. For the first time since she arrived, Amanda felt something unexpected. Relief. Good, she whispered. I no need another problem. She placed her hand on her stomach again. You hear that? She said softly. We are safe here. But as she lay down, another thought crossed her mind. If he's not like other men, she paused, then what kind of man is he? Meanwhile, in his office, Chukudi sat alone, his laptop open, but his mind elsewhere. For a brief moment he remembered something. A quiet girl, no makeup, no drama, no unnecessary movement, just working. Amanda. He leaned back slightly. Interesting, he muttered. Then he shook his head and returned to work. But somewhere, deep down, a seed had been planted. And unlike the others, Amanda had no idea she had already begun to stand out. Amanda woke up with a strange heaviness in her body. Not the usual tiredness from work, something deeper. She sat up slowly, pressing her hand against her stomach. Easy, easy, she whispered. For the past few weeks, she had been careful. Loose clothing, slow movements, avoiding attention. But pregnancy had its own timetable, and it was no longer asking for permission to show itself. Morning struggles. In the kitchen, everything was as chaotic as ever. Move fast, Madame Grace barked. Amanda tried to keep up, but her body wasn't cooperating. She felt dizzy, hot, uncomfortable. Amanda, carry that pot, Ngozi snapped. Amanda reached for it, but paused. The weight, her body resisted. Why you dey dull, Sade added. You want lose this job? Amanda forced herself to lift it. I'm coming. Halfway through, her hand slipped. The pot fell. Clang. Silence. Every head turned. Madame Grace's voice came sharp and cold. What is wrong with you? I am sorry, Ma. Sorry will not clean this kitchen. Amanda bent quickly, trying to gather herself. But as she moved, she felt it. A sharp pull in her lower abdomen. She froze. The first suspicion. Blessing narrowed her eyes. Wait, she said slowly. Amanda's heart skipped. Blessing stepped closer, studying her. Why you dey hold your stomach like that? Amanda quickly dropped her hand. I'm fine. Ngozi stepped in too. You sure? Amanda nodded quickly. Yes. But the damage had started. Suspicion. And in a house like this, suspicion spreads fast. The whispering begins. Later that afternoon, Amanda noticed it. The stares, the whispers. Every time she walked past, conversations paused, then resumed in hushed tones. She dey hide something. I don't notice before. Her body don't change. Amanda kept her head down. Just focus, she told herself. Just survive. But her body had other plans. The moment everything changed. It happened 3 days later. Amanda was cleaning the living room when she suddenly felt nauseous, strong, urgent. She dropped the cloth and rushed toward the nearest bathroom. She didn't make it fully inside before she threw up, loudly, violently. Silence filled the house. Then, footsteps. Oh, Ngozi's voice rang out. Siam. Amanda froze. Slowly she turned. All three girls stood there, watching, eyes wide, understanding dawning. Blessing's mouth dropped open. No be ordinary sickness be this. Sade crossed her arms slowly. Amanda. Amanda said nothing. Her silence said everything. The revelation. She's pregnant. The words landed heavily. Final. Amanda closed her eyes briefly. There was no point denying it anymore. Ngozi let out a dramatic laugh. Ah, so now this game you dey play? Amanda frowned. What game? Don't pretend, Blessing snapped. You think say you go use pregnancy trap Olga? Amanda's chest tightened. That's not true. Sade stepped closer. Then whose pregnancy be this? Amanda hesitated. Her throat felt dry, but she spoke. It's not his. Silence. Then, laughter. Loud, mocking, disbelieving. You expect us to believe that? Ngozi said. It's the truth, Amanda insisted. The insults. The mood shifted quickly, from curiosity to cruelty. So you just carry Bele Waka come here? Ashoo, who send you? Amanda stood there, taking it all. Her hands trembled slightly, but she refused to cry. Not here, not in front of them. I came here to work, she said quietly. Ngozi scoffed. With pregnancy? I didn't have a choice. Blessing shook her head. You think say life na movie? Amanda looked at her. No, she said softly. If it was, I wouldn't be here. For a brief second, silence. But it didn't last. The chief maid steps in. Madame Grace entered the scene like a storm. What is going on here? Everyone went quiet. Then Sade spoke. Ma, Amanda is pregnant. Madame Grace turned slowly. Her eyes landed on Amanda. Cold, sharp. Is it true? Amanda swallowed. Yes, Ma. The room held its breath. Madame Grace walked closer, each step heavy with authority. You applied for this job knowing you were pregnant? Amanda nodded weakly. Yes, Ma. A long silence followed. Then, that is against the rules. Amanda's heart dropped. I'm sorry, Ma. Sorry will not fix this, Madame Grace cut in. You have caused a problem in this house. Tears filled Amanda's eyes now, but she held them back. Ma, please, I need this job. Madame Grace didn't soften. You should have thought of that before. Judgment Day approaches. By evening, the entire house felt different, heavy, tense. Amanda sat alone in the staff quarters, her hands resting on her stomach. I'm sorry, she whispered. Tears slipped down her face quietly. I tried. For a moment, fear took over. What if they send me away? No job, no money, no home. Her breathing quickened. No, no, no. She shook her head. You have to be strong. The summons. A knock came at the door. Amanda wiped her face quickly. Yes? Madame Grace says Olga wants to see you. Her heart stopped. Now? She stood up slowly. Her legs felt weak. This is it, she thought, as she walked down the long hallway toward his office. Every step felt heavier than the last. What will I say? Will he believe me? Will he send me away? She stopped in front of the door, took a deep breath, knocked. Come in. Amanda opened the door, stepped inside, and saw him. Chakuri Chakuma, calm, seated, waiting, her fate sitting right in front of her. Good evening, sir, she said softly. He looked up, his expression unreadable. Sit down, Amanda. She obeyed, her hands clenched tightly in her lap. Then he spoke. I've been told something about you. Amanda's heart pounded. Yes, sir. A pause, then. Explain. And just like that, the truth she had been running from finally caught up with her. Amanda's legs felt like jelly as she sat in Chukwudi's office. The polished wood desk, the sleek leather chair, the faint smell of expensive cologne, it all made her feel painfully small. She kept her hands folded in her lap, trying not to shake. Chukwudi leaned back in his chair, one hand supporting his chin, his eyes fixed on her. There was no judgment in his face, only a quiet, measured attention that made Amanda feel exposed in the most uncomfortable way possible. So, he began slowly, Madame Grace tells me you came for this job knowing you were pregnant. Yes, sir, Amanda whispered, her voice barely audible. I needed work. I don't have money, and I can't take care of the baby without a job. She swallowed hard. I just wanted to survive. Chukwudi remained silent for a long moment. Then he closed his eyes briefly, as if recalling some memory. My mother, he said finally, his voice softer now. She lost her parents when she was very young. She got pregnant, and people treated her like she was worthless. They shamed her, abandoned her. I watched her suffer quietly because she had no one to defend her. I promised myself I would never do the same to anyone else. Amanda blinked, stunned. I understand, sir," she whispered, unsure what to say. Chukwudi opened his eyes again and looked at her directly. "You will not be sacked. In fact, you will not work for the remainder of your pregnancy. You will move into a separate room in the guest wing, and the other maids will assist you. You will be comfortable. You will be safe. Understood?" Amanda froze, speechless. Her chest tightened with relief and disbelief. "Yes, sir," she managed, her voice trembling. Chukwudi stood and gestured toward the door. "Madam Brace will make the arrangements. From now on, you focus only on yourself and your baby. No one will bother you." Amanda nodded, tears threatening to spill. She turned to leave, but he stopped her. "One more thing," he said quietly. "I want to make it clear, this is not charity. You will be treated with respect because you deserve it." Amanda's lips trembled as she whispered, "Thank you, sir." The new quarters. The guest wing of the mansion was nothing like Amanda had imagined. Modern Nigerian design met comfort. Soft, neutral walls, geometric furniture, warm lighting, a plush queen-size bed, and floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the garden and pool. The room even had a small kitchenette. It was bigger than her old apartment, much bigger. A maid assigned specifically to care for her, a kind woman named Comfort, showed her around. "Here you rest, here you eat, here we make sure everything is okay for you," Comfort explained warmly. Amanda sank onto the bed and pressed her hands to her stomach. "Baby, we are going to be okay." For the first time in weeks, she felt a sense of security, a feeling that maybe life wasn't only about struggle. The jealousy begins. Back in the main house, the other maids were furious. Ngozi was the first to speak. "This no be fair. She no even try to seduce Oga, and he give her special room?" Sade folded her arms. "A bag CM, she dey belly, and he dey spoil em. Not jealousy kill me." Blessing hissed, "I swear if she thinks say she don't win by just carrying belly, she dey mistaken." The maids' whispers spread like wildfire. Every time Chukwudi asked about Amanda, even briefly, their irritation grew. Small acts of care. Meanwhile, Amanda settled into her new life. Chukwudi's concern was quiet but persistent. One afternoon, he appeared at her door with a fresh fruit basket. "I asked the chef to prepare something light and healthy," he said simply. "You must eat properly." Amanda blinked. "Thank you, sir. I don't want to trouble you." "You are not a trouble," he said, his tone firm but gentle. "I asked because I care." Amanda felt heat rise to her cheeks. She wanted to say something clever, but no words came. The hospital trip. Months later, the inevitable day came. Labor pains gripped her, and Amanda called for comfort. "Sir," she whispered shakily, "it's time." Within minutes, Chukwudi was at the door. "Let's go," he said simply, helping her into the Range Rover. The drive to the hospital was tense, Amanda gripping his arm tightly. He drove carefully, but there was a calm strength in his presence. She could feel it, and it made her feel safe. By the time they arrived at the hospital, the other maids had no idea what was happening. Their jealousy bubbled at the thought of Amanda getting this level of attention. A new life. Amanda gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Chukwudi stood beside her, holding her hand through every contraction, whispering encouragement. When it was over, he held the baby in his strong arms. "This boy," he said softly, "he will be taken care of. I promise you that." Amanda felt tears streaming down her face. She could hardly speak, but her gratitude was clear. I can't believe this," she whispered. Chukwudi shook his head. "You don't need to believe it. You just need to know it's true. I will adopt him, and I will protect you both." For Amanda, months of fear, shame, and struggle melted into something she had never expected: hope. But even as she held her son, she couldn't help but notice the glances from the other maids. Jealousy had only grown stronger. And somehow, Amanda knew, this was just the beginning. If you want, I can expand Chapter 6 next, showing how the baby slowly brings them together, and how Chukwudi begins falling in love with Amanda, building the romance, tension, and household drama in the luxurious Nigerian mansion. Do you want me to do that? She came in as a maid, with a secret that could destroy everything. Pregnant, heartbroken, rejected by the man who promised her forever. Amanda thought working in a billionaire's mansion was her last chance to survive. But she never expected him. A cold, powerful billionaire who doesn't believe in love, who warned every woman to stay away. Yet, he refused to send her away. He protected her. He cared for her. And now, the whole house is watching. The jealousy is rising, and one truth is about to change everything. Will Amanda's past come back to destroy her? Why is Chukwudi really protecting her? And what happens when love starts growing where it was never invited? This is just the beginning. Like this post if you love billionaire romance stories. Subscribe for the next chapter. Things are about to get intense. If you want, I can also create a short video script teaser or a YouTube intro version to make it even more engaging.